Namaste, my friends. Hello, Joanna. Welcome, Joanna. Nice to have you here. Good evening, Sharon. Good to hear from you. Thank you, Julie. I'm grateful to you also. Grateful for this time. Carrie Ann. Hi. How are you, Carrie Ann? Thank you for all your messages on Patreon, and thanks for joining up. Carrie Ann, we've got another course starting next week, 6 weeks. I'm getting the information out today. Hello, Laurie. Oh, good to hear, Carrie Ann, that you're well. Good to hear. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you for your kindness. I'm going to be on here for about 20 minutes, so if you want to get a herbal tea or something warm, I suggest something warm because it's comforting. And I talk about the 1%ers, those little things we do to provide comfort and to support a peaceful process with everything we do. Life is cacophonic and full of suffering, so let's grab those 1%ers wherever we can. The topic of today is looking at self-care and what we are doing for our self-care, what we do each day. I was talking to a client this morning about walking the dog, having a warm drink, having a comfortable blanket wrapped around us, listening to bird sounds. Thank you for all your comments regarding bird sounds. There's a lot of comments for me to get through. I'm pleased to have such a response. What's that, Carrie Ann? Not Carrie Ann? How do I pronounce it? Something I'm not good at. So I'm presuming, Carrie Ann, that you focus on the needs of others, which is empathic. There are times that we need to recharge, restore, and rejuvenate. Putting time aside for self-care looks after our physical health and creates space for our emotional and mental health. Mental health being a continuum. Carrie Ann, is there something that you do for your self-care, to look after you, to take care of who you are? It's important also to have behaviours and actions that lock into time. Yoga. I love yoga. I had one of the thoughts, Carrie Ann, to include yoga on Patreon because I was a yoga instructor. I needed a hip replacement, so I lost my mobility, had the hip replacement last year, and I'm missing yoga. Still working on that mobility. That's a bit of a life process, isn't it, working on mobility? But the meditation course will be run twice a week, starting next week for 6 weeks. So it'd be lovely, Carrie Ann, to have you drop in at some time that suits you to our course, Awaken Compassion. Self-care is paramount to help us and support us in the maintenance of boundaries. Being mindful that boundaries are for our protection, for us, rather than for the other person. Because just because we have a boundary doesn't mean the other person is going to listen or notice. That may not happen. But what we can do is set boundaries and honour our own boundaries rather than expect other people. Boundaries are for us to set our walls to protect us. Hi, LUVLS, Levels. Your account name is Levels. There's so many positives about that. One of the things I really enjoy about self-care is enjoying textures. The texture of a leaf. I actually like the texture of birdseed. Every morning I take birdseed out and put it in about 5 places, and I love the feeling of birdseed in my hands. I find it quite relaxing, and I enjoy the texture of paper. Love LS rather than Lovels, but Lovels is good too. Love LS, well, is that the closing to a letter? Love and then LS? My mind boggles. Texture that can be enjoyed is such things such as having a shower and enjoying the warm water, enjoying the feeling, the texture of the towels also can be really enjoyable. And the texture of drinking water, the texture of your favorite mug, the texture of a book. I'm reading this book at the moment. I think I said I'm a little bit slow. I'm usually faster with books, but the sound, the calming sound of a book and the texture of the pages. I love the smell of the pages. And if you haven't read this book, it's a fantastic book. One of the ideas I had is to have a book club. We could have a book once a month and have a book club. That's funny. Love LS. Jamie. Yes. Yes, I'm glad, Jamie, that you find this calming. I suggest that you get a warm drink or a cold drink and come and sit down. Sharon, I love the feeling of a small rock. I love, Sharon, to collect stones or pebbles and to feel their texture. And I love the metaphor of a smooth pebble and think about ironing out our issues in life and how a pebble is gradually worn down by the waves of the ocean. It's interesting how I'm speaking with a monotonous tone of voice, and that's not the way I normally speak. I speak more animated normally. It's interesting how a monotonous voice focusing on the folding of towels. We can imagine the folding of towels, taking a towel, smelling the clean towel, placing it on a surface, a table or similar, and folding that towel deliberately once, folding that towel twice, folding it a third time. Considering, oh, you're so funny, Stephanie. Considering the action of folding. When we become anxious, and anxiety can be a byproduct of rumination, we ruminate as a stress response. To bring our mind back to something, you could say boring, repetitive, rhythmic, can be calming. So I do the dishes. Sometimes when I'm stressed, I think about the feeling of the water on the dish, and I won't use the dishwasher. Or I'll fold towels and I'll focus and concentrate on the texture of the towel and what the towel feels like. And I'll take my words, my thoughts. Come on, what do you mean, Stephanie? And are you saying, come on, Stephanie, about what you've said, or about me talking about folding towels? The exciting practice of folding a towel. I've got a master's, honours degree in Love LS, honours degree in anthropology in the Department of Anthropology and Sociology from Monash, and I've got a master's in counselling from the Department of Education. So I'm not a doctor. Ordinary tasks, the repetition of ordinary tasks and focusing on those ordinary tasks can re-regulate our mind and bring our mind back to ground zero. Shannon, I want to shout out Shannon, because I get excited. My natural state of mind is fairly animated and fairly excited. And Stephanie, and I try to modify that at times, as we do. We all filter ourselves in various ways that suit what we're doing. Working through issues, working through problems in life can result in rumination. Rumination brings anxiety and sadness. So by focusing on something ordinary, folding towels, writing out times table in a piece of paper and focusing on that, journaling, as long as the journaling is not heightening, can relax our mind and bring us back down to a state of regulating. Speaking slowly, taking a pause before we answer, and mindfully considering our words and decluttering our mind, having space in our mind. So I do like folding towels. I don't know what you like to do. Does anyone want to make a suggestion of what they do that is mundane to help regulate themselves? It might be my girlfriend, my friend crochets. My other friend collects photos. As long as it's not stimulating, it can help bring us back to a state of regulation. Fishing is another idea. Gardening, watering the plants I find to be very calming. If I have a problem, my mind will want to solve the problem. And it's almost like a robot that's been faced into a brick wall and just keeps knocking at that wall, wanting to solve. In order to find a pathway to resolution, one of the ways we do that is quieting the mind. And when we simplify the mind has the space and is more likely to resolve. 90 minutes before we retire at night, at least 90 minutes, we want to switch off our mind. We may want to design a sleep ritual, and by designing a sleep ritual, a method, a routine for preparing for sleep, we can relax ourselves and encourage a state of calm, if possible, in the mayhem of life. Any heightening state that we have is not an ideal state for resolving, for solving, for communicating. Heightening is for danger. When we're heightened, we are in a state to run away, to preserve ourselves, to freeze, to fawn, but not to solve. So when we find our mind racing, the first step is, where's those towels? Quick, let's do the washing. Let's do the dishes. Let's put the jug on and have that warm cup of lemon juice and focus on the action of drinking the lemon juice. Sometimes people might write to me and say, oh, your meditations are boring or something like that. I find that fascinating. How on earth are we going to go to sleep if we're excited? How are we going to relax ourselves if we're animated, if we're heightened? I think that meditation needs to be, I don't know if I use the word boring, but mundane, rhythmic, ritualistic, repetitive, sense-based or sensual, as in hearing, sight, touch, and then repeat. Our mind can be lulled into a state of relaxation by the repetition. Even to breathe, consider your breath right now. Consider your pattern of breathing. Notice where you are feeling your breathing. Notice any areas in the body which may hold stress. Give those areas permission to release. And as you do this, notice your mind. Give your mind permission to open up its windows and let the clutter out. What truly matters and what is trivial. The human mind gravitates towards thought, distraction, noise. A happy, content state is simple, open, spacious, minimal, quiet. Mapping out your mind, setting perhaps an alarm for the same time each hour, and noticing where your mind is pointing. Do some servicing or some hygiene practice, mental hygiene practice. Notice where your mind is pointing. If your mind points to the same issues again and again, bring your mind back to the folding of towels. Allow your mind to rest. Allow your mind to rejuvenate. Allow your mind to let go. I just thought I'd drop in and say hello. I'm having my car repaired, so I'm going to walk to pick up my car, which is in the heat. It's a couple of kilometres. I enjoy using I enjoy using walking as a meditation. As I walk, I consider the footfall. I focus on the action of walking. I combine meditation, walking. We still need to be aware of our surrounds, roads, etc. But being aware of the action of walking and how the action of walking marries with the action of breathing and how the action of breathing marries with the flow of blood and air and oxygen through the body. And focusing, what actions are required to lift a left leg and step forward? How does the right leg step after the left leg? How do the arms swing together with the stepping of the legs? And what we're doing is focusing on something, the action of walking, which takes our mind away from ruminating. It gives it a rest. It's like a day spa. Folding of towels. I have a towel. The towel is soft. The towel feels comforting. I fold it carefully and I fold the towel again carefully. I notice the line at which I fold the towel. I fold it at the folds half and a quarter, or I can choose to roll the towel. I roll it slowly and carefully. I think about the towel. What colour is the towel? What texture is the towel? What makes this towel individual? How does it feel to fold one towel and place it to one side? Then get another towel and place it to one side. And then we reach for another towel. We stand up straight, we place our shoulders back, we place the towel in front of us. We look at the towel, we focus on the sensual satisfaction of the towel, and we place it away. What we are doing is cleansing the mind, rejuvenating the mind, giving the mind a rest so it can be sharp. Humans like to engage in noise, browsing, conversation, creating an issue or work where it may not exist. We like to distract ourselves because the human mind is somewhat addicted or drawn to distraction. Distraction brings sadness. Distraction brings anxiety. The more we distract, the more we want to distract. The more we feel sadness and anxiety. When we are distracted and we feel sadness and anxiety, it is harder to sit in silence. So we distract. And with that distraction, it becomes like a mouse running on a treadmill, stuck. Developing a ritual, a nightly ritual where you turn lights off, have a hot bath or shower, favorite mug, warm drink, fluffy pajamas, soft pajamas, slippers, soft slippers. Place the slippers on one by one. Notice your mind. Where is your mind pointing? What is your mind noticing? When we eat chocolate, I like chocolate. When we eat chocolate, chocolate has certain effects on the body. When we distract ourselves with Instagram or browsing, it's like takeaway to our body. We are feeding our mind McDonald's when we browse. Sometimes it's fun to have McDonald's, perhaps once a week or once a month. And we say to ourselves, I'm choosing to have McDonald's tonight as a special occasion. I'm choosing to browse on TikTok for 10 minutes as a special occasion. It's a choice I make. It has a defined time, and then I will care for myself. Developing a ritual of mindful self-care. Repetitious tasks, comforting tasks, comforting ASMR. You may be familiar with that. Rhythmic. We rock a baby to sleep. Back and forth and back and forth with comforting textures. We as adults rock ourselves with crochet, with knitting, with fishing, with a variety of tasks We rock our mind into health through rhythm, through texture, through repetition. We can move our mind to healing. Now notice how I am slowing my voice down in order to calm my mind. When we speak fast, when we heighten, when we explain or defend, our mind becomes agitated. Not a great paradigm for resolution, not a great paradigm for peace, not a great paradigm for resilience. Hey, am I doing laundry for family? I am perpetually doing laundry for my partner. Thank you, Joanna. I really appreciate it. I'm learning about the chat, and yeah, I'm just not a techie person. I'm developing it. Ah, hi, Emily. Oh, you know what? I love Jim Carrey. When I was younger, my daughter wrote to him. I have such a crush on Jim Carrey. I always have. Thank you so much. A bug in my hair? I don't think so. And if I did have a bug in my hair, he's okay. He can just hang out there and have a good time. Oh, that's funny, Sarah. Thank you. You're welcome, Emily. Where's this bug? Do you want to come here, Sarah, and fish out the bug? But I'm quite happy with the bug in my hair. Happy fried egg. This phone is not working well, so there's a slight buzz. Thank you, Emily. You're so funny. Well, if it lays eggs, I'll look after the babies. Yes, I do. I enjoy them, Tabby. That's funny. Okay, well, let's imagine there's a bug in my hair and it's having a groovy time. And this bug is called Nathan the bug. And he's finally got a home and he's finally has a chance to get to sleep. And you're all asking me to get rid of Nathan. Well, that's no good. Thank you, Emily. Phil. To have a bug or not to have a bug, that is the question. I love Elvis Presley. That's so funny. You ask me these things sometimes like I'm a performing seal and I'm just going to go with it. It's interesting. Hi, Melissa. Hope you're okay, Melissa. Lovely to see you. Thinking of you, Melissa. We were talking about, this is an interesting time of day, isn't it? Because people flood on at this time. Isn't it evening for you right now? What's the time of day? It's generally time for sleep. Yeah, Melissa, I was worried, concerned. Hello, Emily. 8:34. So thanks, Melissa. So it's time to okay. It's 8:34, and Jersey Girl says 10:30. So Shannon, 8:35 Mountain Time. I'm learning so much. So this is a really good time for me to come on, isn't it? I know. It's late. Thank you, Melissa. Lately, my chats, my lives are just being inundated with trolls, and I find it really interesting. Like, I don't need to watch TV, I just look at the trolls here. It's fascinating. Hello, Molly. All right. I've spoken a lot about a sleep ritual and the importance of designing a sleep ritual, and a sleep ritual that includes comforting textures, number one, and rhythm and repetition. And this is not exciting, this is mundane. And what we want to do is have a mundane situation in order to relax the mind. And we relax the mind by slowing down. You want me to say the N word? Okay, here you go. Here's the N word. Night. Nighty night. This is nighttime for you. Nighty night. Good night. That's okay. I know, this chat is pretty interesting, isn't it? It's very unlike any of my videos and the type of content. I'm going to go in a moment. Keep in mind, next week is the start of my 6-week meditation course. You are all welcome. It's on Patreon. The chat's a little bit like life, isn't it? In life, we meet all sorts of people. Some of them are focused on browsing through life, and some of them focus on being mindful. And this chat is full of all sorts of people. Oh, I love folding pillowcases, Melissa, and towels. And I was saying before, I like to wash dishes and the watering of the garden, and I focus on the difference. You know how you can turn the connection and get a different sort of spray from the water? And I like feeling the water as well. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. Remember, everything you say needs a message of kindness, softness, empathy. I can't get over this chat. It's so interesting. It's like being in a football field with thousands of people. Well, yes, I'm Australian. Yep, Australian. That's okay, Mandy. I think it's, if you are on YouTube, I've been on YouTube since 2000. Freya? Night. The word's night, nighty night. If you've been on YouTube as long as I have and experienced the things I have, we just can't be affected by the judgment of others. When people judge or label, They are simply talking about themselves. When we react with any affect, we are, hey, Phoebe, nighty-night. When we react with affect, we are talking about ourselves. It's not about the interaction of somebody using a label and how we receive it. We decide how to be. We decide whether to internalize a label or not. And gee whiz, when you're on YouTube, there is not a hope that you could stay on YouTube and do any benefit, have any benefit for people if you're going to internalize labels. Trolls say what they think will troll. Trolls say what they think will hurt because they are yearning for affect for a number of different reasons. And one of the reasons that trolls troll is they require distraction, or they are sad, or a bit of both. You're welcome, Joanna. Yeah. People will look at me online and think, what can I say that will hurt her? And I find it really interesting, some of the things that come up. And I think, what in your mind needs? It's like at the zoo, in Melbourne, we had an issue where people threw darts at, hey, Melissa, they threw darts at the giraffe. And they threw darts at the giraffe to get the giraffe to move. And I think trolling is almost like, thank you, Marley, kind of you. Trolling is almost like throwing darts at a giraffe. It's not motivated by reason or logic. It's not motivated by empathy. And the only response we can have to trolling is empathy with boundaries towards the person who's trolling. Oh, nighty-night. The N-word, Anya. Nighty-night. I do weights for fun. I love to pray for the trolls. Okay, Pixie, let's all pray for the trolls. Interesting, John. Interesting. Thanks, Shannon. I'm going to go. I've got to walk and... Yeah, you're right. Trolling is a type of bullying, but we can, in emotional sense, choose whether we will receive bullying or we can just throw it off. I'm going to go. You take care, everyone. Miley, that's funny. You walk your fish. I'm going to imagine you walking a fish. You take care, guys. I will speak to you again. Be well. And I'm going to walk to get my car. Melissa, do all those comforting self-care things and put yourself first. And take care of yourself. I look forward to speaking with you, Melissa. Good night, guys. Hey, Miley, you'll be okay. I'll be back. Bye, guys. You want the N-word again? Nighty-night. Nighty-night. Now go to sleep. Brush your teeth. Oh, Wyatt, you're hilarious. Why on earth would you say that to me and think it would get a rise? I mean, seriously? Good night, guys. Go to sleep. Choose when to put your phones away. Have a shower or a bath. Miley, #2. And take care of yourself, won't you? Be well. You take care. I'll speak to you again soon. Be well. Good night. Thanks, John. Thanks, Alison. Take care. You'll be okay. Take care, guys.